Helen, have you finished packing up your things yet? I don't want to rush you, but time is of the essence. It doesn't seem like you've been making any progress at all. I'm getting worried you won't be finished in time. Huh? Packing up my things? What are you talking about? Are we going on vacation or something? I don't remember talking about that. Oh, you can't be serious. May's moving back in so I can help take care of her after the baby is born. So obviously you're going to have to move out. I thought we were on the same page. Wait, what? May's moving back in? This is the first I've ever heard of this. You never said anything to me. Oh, come now, dear. There's no way you weren't aware. I told my son to tell you about it myself, so I don't want to hear any of your excuses. Unless, are you telling me that Nate didn't talk to you? No, Mom. He hasn't said a single thing to me. I told you, this is the first I'm hearing of this. So please tell me what's going on. I did hear that May was pregnant. I knew that much. But now you're telling me she's moving in? I don't believe it. You mean you really didn't know? Oh, Nate told me that he talked to you about it and you were fine with it. He told me he would handle everything, so I thought everything was in order. How could I possibly be fine with something I knew nothing about? How long has this been in the works? When did this conversation happen? Well, let me think. The first time May mentioned she wanted to move back in was, I believe, around a month ago or so. She said the doctor told her she was at a heightened risk for premature labor. So she wanted to move in here so that I could help her relax up until the birth. Her husband is always quite busy with work, and his parents live quite a ways away. So when I talked to Nate about it, he said he would talk to you. And it wasn't but a few hours after that he told me you two had a conversation and that you said you were fine with it. Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I had no idea you weren't aware. I feel terrible now. She gave you 1 month's notice for wanting to move in with us? Jeez. This is not the kind of thing you can just drop on somebody with only a month's notice. Isn't there anywhere else she could go but here? I understand that she tried, but there was nowhere else that she could stay. Believe me, this is all very sudden for me as well. Well, yeah, I suppose it's going to be quite an imposition on you, too. But wait, you're telling me that we're the ones who need to be packing up our things? Do you mean she's going to be staying on our side of the duplex? Why wouldn't she be staying in yours? There would be more empty space over there. Well, no, she'll be spending most of the time over here with me. But she says that she wants you and Nate to move out of your unit while she's here. What? Oh, just until the baby's born and she recovers from the birth. She said it would be for the best if you two could rent an apartment or a condo somewhere for a while. Not forever, again, just until things settle down. Are you being serious right now? What in the world? She really said that? Why on earth would we have to move out of our own house? I'd say May would feel bad about imposing on you if you were around the house. She wouldn't want you to feel like you had to wait on her. And having an energetic 2-year-old around a new mother could be, well, somewhat stressful. Stress isn't good for a pregnant woman, you know. It's hard on the baby as well. That's her reason? That's why she wants us to move out of our own house? What, does she think it'll be easy on us to have to make a sudden move like this with a 2-year-old? That's insane. And what does she mean until things settle down? That's an incredibly vague period of time. Are we talking a few months, a year, or even more? Who's going to take care of the house in that time? Who's going to pay for utilities, the mortgage? Not to mention she's kicking us out of our own home, so who's going to pay for our moving expenses? Well, as for the housework, I talked to Nate about that. He said you would be able to stop by a few times a week and take care of everything. He also told me that you would be willing to drive May to the hospital and back for her pre- and postnatal checkups. Are you kidding me? And for financial matters, he said it would be a sort of early baby shower gift for her. He said that the two of you would cover all the expenses, both for yourselves and May. I'm sorry, dear, but Nate told me that you had discussed all of this and that you were just as enthusiastic about it as he was. I'm going to have a little talk with him later on, but for the time being, let me just tell you this much. May is not going to be able to move into our house. We have a 2-year-old child. We can't just move on a whim like this, and I can't be taking care of the housework for 2 households. It's simply delusional to think a scheme like that would ever work out in reality. Not to mention, I have a job to do myself. I'm sorry, but this just isn't going to work. You'll have to tell May that she needs to find another arrangement. What? I can't tell her no, not at this point in time. She's going to move in this weekend. This weekend? That's only 5 days from now. Well, yes, I know. That's why I asked you if you had made the necessary preparations for the move a little bit ago. Helen, I'm sure you can find some way to make this work, can't you? After all, we've already told May that she can come. She's made her own preparations too. We can't just make her up and change plans at this point. I'm sure it'll be difficult for her, but I'm just looking at reality here. This is just not going to work. It can't happen. Anyway, like I said, I was not in the loop for any of this information. I'm going to have a talk with Nate now. He has a lot of explaining to do. Nate, we need to have a talk now. I just heard from your mom that May is going to be moving into our house this weekend. Would you mind telling me more? And by more, I mean anything? Seeing as how you never told me about this in the first place.
Oops. Sorry, babe. I guess I forgot to run that by you.
You forgot? You forgot? You forgot that she's moving into our house in just 5 days? You forgot about this little minor detail for an entire month? You forgot that we have to find a new place to live for the entire time she's living here? You forgot that you promised my services as a housekeeper and chauffeur to her for that entire time? You forgot to tell me all about that?
Look, I said I was sorry, but I've been meaning to talk to you about it, I really have. But I just felt like if I asked you about it, that you'd say no for sure.
Of course I would say no to that nonsense. What was your plan here? What were you going to do if your mom just didn't drop that bomb on me a little while ago? Were you just going to have May show up at the door and be like, "Oh, by the way..."
Come on, don't treat me like I'm a total idiot. I obviously made preparations for us to leave the house. I was going to talk to you within the next few days, maybe even today or tomorrow. I just forgot, that's all. What, have you never forgotten anything?
Don't pretend like being ready or not is the issue. The issue is that you went and made all of these insane promises behind my back. Why? Does May have no other choice than to move into our house to take care of the baby? Why can't she go anywhere else? This is our house. She has her own house.
Well, that's because Mum's going to be helping her out while she recovers from the birth. Since Mum lives in the other part of our duplex, that means May has to come here, obviously. Mum sold her old house when she moved in with us, so she can't go there.
I am aware of the fact that your mom sold her old house and moved in with us when your dad died. I get it. She's getting up there in years and she's insecure living completely on her own. I get that. She's not in bad enough health to require round-the-clock care like in a nursing home, so it makes sense for her to live close to us like this. I understand that and agreed to it when we moved into this duplex. But once again, Nate, that's not the issue here. The issue is May moving in here. Please, for the love of God, will you explain to me why she has to move in here?
What do you want, Helen? Do you want May to have to deal with giving birth and taking care of her baby all by herself? Oh, don't forget you stayed with your parents when you gave birth. You think you deserve that, but May doesn't? You think you're special or something? Try putting yourself in her shoes.
First of all, you are comparing apples to oranges. The circumstances are completely different. But let's just say for a moment that I was in the same position May is in now. If my parents had sold their house and moved in with my brother and his wife, then unless there was some sort of insanely unlikely extenuating circumstance, I would simply take care of myself and have my husband do whatever I needed in order to make things work. But apparently May hasn't even thought about that possibility. And then her reasoning, are you kidding me? She thinks having other people in the house would be stressful for her? Why do we have to allow ourselves to get kicked out of our own house? Why do I have to give up my lifestyle to cater to May's selfish whims? Don't even get me started on having to do the housework and take her to her checkups. Doesn't all of that seem just a little bit, I don't know, ridiculous to you, Nate?
Hey, don't talk about May like she's some kind of squatter, swooping in and stealing our house. She has a lot on her mind right now. The doctor even told her she's at risk of going into labour prematurely. All she wants is to be close to Mum, so Mum can take care of her. You're a mother yourself, Helen. You understand exactly how hard on a woman's body childbirth is. So come on, you can help her out with the housework, can't you? That won't be too much of a burden. And hey, you can think of this as a good chance for you and May to finally develop a positive relationship. What do you say, Helen? Think you can make a teensy little sacrifice for me?
A chance to become besties with May? A teensy little sacrifice?
Well, yeah. I mean, you've never even spoken to each other. After that big blow-up you two had all the way back when, right? That puts me in a really difficult position, Helen. I'm torn between my sister and my wife. Maybe the two of you can bond over mummy stuff. You know, like changing nappies and other mummy stuff.
What is the matter with you? I cannot believe what I'm reading right now. You call what happened a blow-up? Do you remember what that woman did to me? You introduced me to your family for the first time, and she immediately started insulting me in every possible way she could think of. She threw hot coffee on me, kicked me under the table, and pushed me out the door when I left. And then, after we sent out the wedding invites, you remember that, right? She started calling all the invitees and lied to them that the date had been changed. Then she came to the wedding plastered drunk and tried to throw a bottle of wine at me. After we got married, she used the key we left with your parents to break into our house and steal our stuff. Don't tell me you forgot the time she almost got away with selling my mother's heirloom diamond necklace to a pawn shop. If your dad hadn't driven by just in time to put a stop to the deal, I would have lost it forever. Oh, and then there's the time she tried to dump me in the middle of nowhere while I was pregnant with our son. Wasn't that an adorable little prank? She told me that your mom had been in an accident and we needed to rush to the scene and help her, then tried to kick me out of the car on the side of the highway. If that cop hadn't seen the scene and asked what was going on, we might have lost our son, Nate. But it didn't stop there. Remember when she came to the hospital after the birth? Remember the things she said to our son? "Wow, you look just like your mother. Ugly as hell, you poor thing." Those were her words, right? After that, I'd had enough of her. I told her exactly how I felt and that I didn't want to see her ever again. And you call that a blow-up? It was a long, continuous stream of unilateral verbal and physical abuse. I seem to remember you being pretty angry back then. Did you forget about that too?
No, I definitely remember that. No, I told her that she's been totally out of line, because she was being out of line. She was going through a really difficult time back then, though. I mean, you're a woman too. You know, women have their phases, right? Look at her now. She's married and she's having a baby. She's a totally different person. She's really turned her life around. I bet she feels really bad for everything she did back then.
If she really felt bad, I think a better way to show it would be to come and tell me that she was sorry to my face. Rather than, kicking me out of my own house and demanding I be her maid. So no, Nate, I don't think she's changed at all. Not in the slightest.
Oh, come on, Helen. She's my sister.
Sister or not, I'm putting my foot down. She is not moving in here. I never want to see her again for as long as I live. Call her up right now and tell her the plan has changed and she's not moving in.
Helen, you know I can't do that. Not this late in the game. She's been operating under the assumption that you'd be taking care of her for a month now. I can't cancel on her at the last minute.
Nate, this is all your fault. Take responsibility. You volunteered my services without even asking me. That's the worst part of this, for me. I don't care how hard it might be to cancel on her. Do it. Do it right now.
Helen, please, don't be so cold to my sister. She's family, and family has to take care of each other. May's already gotten everything ready to move here this weekend. I already signed a lease for a nice little apartment that's not too far away from here.
Oh my God, you did?
Of course I did. Need to move in 5 days. It's only going to be a year and some change. How bad could it be? If you want, I'll make May apologise to you for all that stuff she did. Okay, we're going to be together for a while, so let's try to get along. I'll give you the address for our apartment in a bit. Can you arrange for our stuff to be delivered there? There's not much time left, so do it right away. Okay? Got to get back to work. Talk to you later. Thanks, Helen.
Hey there, ugly bitch. Long time no see. My stuff's gonna get there today, so make sure you get it all organized. Oh, and make sure the house is clean. Like, super clean. You're a sloppy homemaker, and I don't want to get any weird infection from you. So, disinfect everything in the house. Got it? Hello there, May. I see you haven't changed one bit over the last few years. Nate's the one who'll be cleaning your room, not me. So if you have any special requests, tell him.
What? Oh my God, I feel so sorry for my brother. He's stuck with a lazy loser like you for a wife. Why didn't he divorce you? Like, seriously. I mean, here I am, your husband's own sister, coming over to your house, and this is the way you're gonna talk to me? Forget divorce. If I were Nate, I'd hire a hitman.
Yep, you haven't changed a bit.
Ugh, that sour attitude of yours is exactly why I didn't want that little brat around me. Any kid raised by you is 100% gonna be a total monster. Just the sight of you would raise my stress levels higher than I could stand. Make sure there aren't any family pictures up or anything. Oh, and I told Mom and Nate to make this clear to you, but just in case, you need to wear a mask when you come here to clean. I don't care about the flu or anything, I just don't want to see your face. Get in, get the chores done, and get the hell out. Oh, and that rule also applies for when you're taking me to the doctor. I don't want anyone to know I'm associating with someone as ugly as you.
As you wish. I'm leaving just like you wanted. My sons and my things have already been taken out of the house. You can make yourself at home.
That's a good, obedient girl. Looks like you finally understand where you rank around here. God, how pathetic can you get? No matter what I do or say to you, Mom and Nate may put up a facade of outrage, but at the end, they're both on my side. I win, you lose. I get everything, you get nothing. I get this sweet house, you get some cramped apartment. Oh, and I bet Mom and Nate told you it was gonna just be for a year or so, right? Yeah, about that. I think I might stick around a little longer. Like, I don't know, forever. After all, it's my mom's house, and that means it's my house. Anyway, enjoy life in your crappy little apartment. I can't wait to stretch out my legs and relax on that big sofa you bought. This is what you get for not divorcing my brother when you had the chance, you dumb bitch.
Oh yeah, you got me. You got me real good. Is that all you wanted to say to me? I'm actually pretty busy with moving over here, so if you're done, I'll be getting back to work now. Bye, May.
Aw, look at you, trying to put on a brave face and pretend like I haven't completely destroyed you. You're not fooling anyone.
Helen, where are you? Answer your phone already. What are you doing right now? You need to call me as soon as you see this.
What do you want? I don't want to hear your voice right now. If you need something, just text me.
Helen, why are you talking to me like that? But more importantly, where are you? The door's locked and my key doesn't work. You need to get over here fast.
Sorry, no can do. I'm at my parents' house with our son. I'm going to be staying over here for the foreseeable future. Probably at least a year or so.
What? Wait, what?
My dad hurt his back the other day, you see. He's gonna need help around the house and also with getting to and from the hospital for his checkups. He's too heavy for my mom to pick him up by herself, so she needs me here to look after him with her. So I'll just keep going to work like normal while staying here overnight.
What's wrong with you, Helen? How can you do that without saying anything to me first?
You know, Nate, I meant to tell you. Really, I did. But I forgot. I mean, I just knew that if I asked you about it, you'd say no, so I never got around to it. Oops.
What? Are you mocking me? Oh, that's beside the point right now. Why isn't my key working?
What, did you think I was going to leave home without locking the door behind me? I have to be a responsible homeowner, Nate. This is kindergarten level stuff. Oh, and about the locks, in a total coincidence, they broke yesterday. I had them replaced. I was going to tell you about that too, but I forgot again. Oops, sorry.
Helen, this is not funny. What's the matter with you? You can't just make these major decisions by yourself like that without asking me first. May is here, ready to move in, but we can't open the door. She was ready to finally get some well-deserved rest and relaxation, but now we have to go back in the car and drive over to the apartment. Why are you doing this, Helen? Explain yourself right now.
What are you complaining about? All I did was follow your family rules.
My family's rules? What?
Yes, your rules. You've made it very clear what your family's rules are over the last several years. According to your family's rules, when one spouse wants to do something that the other spouse will likely object to, you just do it without asking them. Especially if it's for family. Family has to look out for each other, right? And once one spouse makes a decision, the other spouse has to go along with it.
And that's exactly what I just did. I followed your rules to a T. My dad hurt his back and needed help. So I dropped everything and went to help him. I have to help my dear father.
I don't believe this. Really, Helen? Is this all some sort of childish revenge thing for you?
Revenge? Don't be silly. I was just following your rules. Or are you saying you realize what you did was wrong?
What? No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Uh-huh. You decided that your sister would move in with us. You decided that we would move out of our own house. You decided that I would be the one who had to take care of your sister. And when you finally talked to me about it and I said no, you ignored me. You signed a lease for an apartment. You started getting ready to move. You did all of this on your own accord because your sister needed help. And since you still don't seem to think you did anything wrong, that must mean those are your family's rules, right? So I followed your rules. I moved in with my parents to help them out while my dad recovers.
Oh, come on. You're being way too hyperbolic about everything. After all, it might have been a little late, sure, but I did talk to you about everything, right?
A little late is doing a lot of work in that sentence. But in any case, while you may have talked to me 5 days before she came, I never once agreed. And as for me, I told May that I would leave. However, I didn't say one single solitary thing to her about taking care of her. I have no obligation to do something that I never agreed to. But honestly, I'd say this is actually for everyone's benefit. May said that just seeing my face sent her stress levels skyrocketing, and I feel the same exact way about May.
Well, why didn't you tell me you felt so strongly about May? If you would have talked to me, we could have found a way to work things out.
I did tell you. Scroll up, Nate. Look at the conversation we had 5 days ago. I told you in detail all about the worst things that she's done to me. I told you, in no unclear terms, that I never wanted to see her again for as long as I live. And what did you have to say in reply? That you think she's turned her life around? Guess what? She texted me 2 days ago, and do you know what words she greeted me with after 2 years of turning her life around? Hey there, ugly bitch. I took a screenshot and sent it to you. You saw it, right?
Yeah, I did. But come on, Helen, give me a break. Can't you give this a chance? Why don't you come by the apartment and we can all talk things out like adults?
Your refusal to talk things out like adults is exactly what got us into this mess. I have been trying for days now to talk things out like adults. But every day this week, you've either had overtime or drinks with your colleagues or some other dumb excuse. And your mom went on a conveniently timed 5-day vacation with her friends. Neither of you have been home for the last 5 days.
Those weren't excuses. I really was busy.
Oh, I have no doubt you were making yourself busy looking for excuses to avoid me. You've had 1 whole month to talk to me since this whole story began. I know what you were thinking, Nate. You were thinking it was only a matter of time. You expected that if you could avoid me for long enough that I'd just agree to everything. And if I said no, you didn't care. All your talk about compromise and little sacrifices, all of that was just a facade. You were just buying time for me to completely give in to you. Seriously, what kind of a pathetic weakling do you think I am? I am sick and tired of you, your sister, your mom. I'm sick of everything. May's had 2 years to grow up, but in all honesty, I think she's become even more of a psycho than she was before.
What do you want from me, Helen? I told you I was sorry for not talking to you. Now stop acting like I'm some kind of passive-aggressive, patronising husband. I'm not. That was not my intent at all. Maybe you have a bit of a point. Maybe I was taking advantage of your kindness, sure. But it was never my intent to hurt you, insult you, impose upon you, or anything like that. So, look, I'm sorry for that, for trying to take advantage of you. But seriously? Locking us out of the house? That's taking things way too far. It's not just your house, Helen. It's our house. You, me, and Mum.
I suppose you're right. It isn't just my house. Originally, my grandparents lived in that duplex along with my uncle and aunt. And right now, it's actually still in my mom's name. We were always just borrowing it from her anyway.
Wait.
What's the matter? Did you forget that too? Boy, you sure have a convenient memory, don't you? Back when your mom wanted to move in with us, I was the one who asked my mom for permission. But then you went and invited your sister to come and live there without even asking me for permission. Do you have any idea how angry my parents are right now at both you and your sister? Oh, and that reminds me, I have a message from them for you, your mom, and your sister. We won't sit idly by and let you take advantage of us. Your sister's got her own house, she can live there, and you can live with her. That sounds like a great idea to me. You can all live with May and her husband, and you can do all their housework.
Helen, let's be reasonable now. We're husband and wife. We can't live in separate houses. Are you really going to live over there for a whole year, please? Helen, come home.
I was actually thinking about staying here longer than just a year. A lot longer. Maybe even forever.
No, you can't be serious. You're not going to divorce me, are you?
I've been thinking about it.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll tell May she can't stay with us. And I'll make her apologise for everything she's ever done to you. But I'm begging you, please don't divorce me.
Let me ask you a question, Nate. Do you know precisely what I'm angry about right now? If at this point you still don't know what the real issue is, then there's just no hope for you. You say you're going to make May apologize? Great, but this doesn't end there. You're just as guilty as she is. You know that, right?
Yeah, sure I do. I'm very, very aware of how precisely I've hurt you, Helen. And for that precise reason, I'm very, very sorry. I can't express enough how sorry I am for that. So, you gonna come home now?
Nope. It's been so long since my parents have seen their grandson, they look like they're 20 years younger, they're so happy. They went to a lot of effort to get ready for me to stay with them. I couldn't tell them I'm leaving already, it would break their poor hearts. So no, I intend to stay here for 1 year just like I promised. And during that year, I'll decide whether I'm gonna divorce you or not. Got that?
Yeah, I got it. Look, I'm really, really sorry for what I did, Helen. I truly regret doing the precise thing that you're angry about right now. I can't believe I was stupid enough to do a thing like that. I hope you can find it in your generous heart to forgive me for...
Well, if you're really sorry about that, then that's good. You'll have another year to think about exactly how sorry you are for that.
That.
And one more thing. I'm going to have to teach May a lesson that will teach her not to cross me ever again. You might get caught in the crossfire, just a heads up.
Okay.
Good morning, May. Did your husband stop by to see you? Look, you can hole yourself up in the apartment bathroom all you want, but you're gonna have to come out eventually. This is all your fault, you bitch! Why did you have to go and call my husband? And why the hell do you even know my husband's phone number? You're such an obnoxious old hag. Let's just say that I have a very thorough network of contacts. Friends of friends, you know. I won't tell you how exactly I got the information, but wow, you never cease to amaze me, May. Really, I'm astonished. Imagine my shock when I learned that your husband, drumroll please, has been out of the country for a year on business. It's an immaculate conception. Or is that just the overwhelming power of your husband's masculinity? He impregnated you from across the world? And if you think I was shocked, you should have heard your husband's reaction. I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! It was only a matter of time before he found out you were the talk of the town. After all, you're a married woman, and yet there was a constant string of young men coming and going from your house in the middle of the night. I understand you told your neighbors that you conceived while your husband made a quick trip back home, but, you know, I really don't think they bought it, May. No, I think they all knew what was really going on. Your husband is set to come back home next month, right? Is that why you were so desperate to move in with us? To keep your husband from finding out for as long as possible? Well, unfortunately for you, after my conversation with him, he decided to cut his trip a wee bit short. Oops. Sorry about that, May. I hate you, you evil bitch! I'm gonna tell Nate and my mom what you did to me. He's gonna divorce your ass instantly. You're gonna regret this. I'll show you what happens when you piss me off, you ugly old geezer. Oh, well, if that's what you need to do, by all means, go ahead. Getting a divorce wouldn't be a problem for me in the slightest, seeing as I make about twice as much as Nate and I'm the family's primary breadwinner. Didn't you know? My dad's a real estate developer and he handed off a few properties to me so I could learn the ropes. Then once he passes away, I'll inherit the rest of his business. So Nate's the one desperate to avoid a divorce, not me. What? Oh, and speaking of money, there's something I need you to do for me. Give your mom a message from me as soon as you can. Tell her that even in the unlikely event Nate and I end up staying together, she is never, under any circumstances, going to come and live with us again. The second she gets too old to be able to take care of herself, I am tossing her carcass right into a nursing home. Did you write all of that down? I don't believe this! Just when I thought you couldn't stoop any lower, now you're throwing my mom out onto the curb after all she's done for you? I'd say the balance is pretty strongly in my favor. Actually, she begged us to let her move in with us because she was lonely, so we did. I was also paying about $300 to $400 a month for her living expenses. Out of my own paycheck, of course. Nate never paid anything. And how did she repay me? By helping you cover up your affair. She was fully aware that you were moving in with us with the sole intent to hide your love child from your husband. That's a pretty disgusting lie of omission that could have put me in an incredibly awkward position. And now, come to find out, her plan was ultimately to abandon the child completely and force me to take care of him. That's the kind of thing you only see in bad soap operas, but your mother actually came up with that evil plot. When Nate pushed her on it a while back, she spilled the beans on the whole thing. Do you think I would continue to allow such an amoral, vile person as that to live with me and my child? All she's done for you, all she's done to me, is the reason I'm kicking her out. Jeez, now I know where you picked up your evil nature. I guess that makes two traits you both share, evil and stupidity. If only you weren't as dumb as a box of rocks, maybe you might have gotten away with all of that. Don't you mock me like that, you ugly skank! I am gonna get you back for this, Helen. Mark my words, you will regret this. If I may make a bit of a recommendation, what if, instead of dedicating the rest of your life to getting back at me, you spent more time becoming a normal, moral human being? If you had done that sooner, you probably wouldn't have hit the self-destruct button on your life, and right now, you'd be living a happy life with your husband.
Jordan, aren't you being a little mean? Hey, listen to me, Jordan. Huh? What is it, Kimmy? It's been a couple of years now since you and I last talked. What do you want? I heard that you got married. Oh, that's right. I did get married. What the heck, Jordan? So you're just not inviting your friends to weddings now? Well, I haven't even had the wedding yet. Wait, so it's really true that you'll be having the wedding in Puerto Rico? You're going to be inviting me to that, right? And of course you'll pay for my flight and everything too. This is going to be my first time ever leaving the United States. I can't wait. Hold on a second, I'm not inviting you to my wedding. What? This wedding is only going to be for my husband and I, and we plan to have our honeymoon there right after. I know it isn't normal for a couple to do that, but the both of us think it's better to just keep the wedding small and then use the money we've saved up enjoying our honeymoon. Even my parents are okay with the choice we've made, so there's nothing that'll make us change our mind. Therefore, not a single person besides us two is invited. Huh? Also, Puerto Rico is technically a part of the U.S., so you would still not really be leaving the country. Wait a sec, are you crazy? How does this make me crazy? I heard that your husband is a really cool man. And if people are calling him really cool, that must mean he has a lot of money and is very good looking, right? No, he's a pretty average office worker with an average salary, actually. The fact that you're not going to share your high-spec handsome man with the rest of us is insane. How about you stop talking about my husband like that and leave the two of us alone? You are being so mean, Jordan. Well, I happen to have a lot going on in my life right now, and so does my husband. I haven't even invited my parents to the wedding, so if I'm not even inviting them, you should be able to understand what my husband and I want. But that's mean. Unless you are paying for my wedding, you don't get to say anything about the way I want it to go. So stop whining. What? Bye-bye. You are so mean. The fact that you won't even invite your old hometown friend to something like your wedding must mean that he is so good looking and has so much money, you're afraid of what I'll do. You're a real jerk. I hate that only you will be having a guy like that, and that is so freaking mean to the rest of us. I'm going to get a look at that man of yours one way or another. I guess I'll be seeing you both in Puerto Rico. Justice, good morning.
Good morning, Jordan.
I just got to Richmond Airport.
What? That was fast.
I had a lot of things to bring along with me, so I called a taxi to come and pick me up.
I see. I'm still on the subway right now, coming there. And we plan to meet at the desk 5 minutes before they open, right?
Sounds good. I'll sit down and drink my coffee while waiting for you. By the way, how's your older brother doing? Do you think he'll be fine?
I think you'll be alright. I made sure to make things out to all be true, so you shouldn't be able to find us there. Actually, all I told him was that we'd be going to Puerto Rico for this and didn't tell him anything about where our actual destination would be. So I doubt he'll figure anything out. Honestly, if he were able to still find us, then I'd have to congratulate him.
You might have to then.
And how have things been with you? Weren't you telling me about that really annoying old friend of yours who wouldn't listen to a word you were saying and keeps thinking I'm some wealthy man?
You're talking about Kimmy. Since then, she hasn't said anything else to me, so I think things are okay there. I made sure to do the same as you and only tell her that we're going to Puerto Rico. Also, I didn't say anything about what dates we'll be there. I think it'll be a lot harder for her to come than your brother, since he at least has family ties to you and has a chance, although slight, of meeting us there.
But I haven't even really said anything to the rest of my family, though. So I really do think everything will be alright.
I think so too. That's what I'm hoping, at least. Jordan! Just wanted to let you know I was actually able to get all of your plans and everything for your trip to Puerto Rico and won't have any issues finding you. I'm sure you thought otherwise, since I hadn't said anything to you for a while now, right? What? Kimmy? Right now I'm in Puerto Rico as well, in San Juan. Huh? Hey. I'm guessing that you're starting to really freak out right now, right? Why? How? Well, you know me. I just had to be here for your honeymoon and everything. To take it over, of course. And I've already gone ahead and gotten a taste of your husband. What? Did you actually come all the way out to Puerto Rico? I did. I made sure to do all my research into that insanely attractive husband of yours so that I knew all I needed to know. I was able to find out what day you guys would be leaving on and what day you both plan to come back. And with that information, I was able to make my move. What? You're a frickin' stalker then. Hey, since last night you've probably not heard anything at all from your husband, right? What? Why do you say that? Well, because since last night your husband has been by my side. Excuse me? The reason your husband hasn't been contacting you at all is because I made sure to take him from you. What are you talking about, Kimmy? At first, I really didn't have any interest in actually stealing him from you. But when I got that first look at your high-spec husband, I just felt that I was destined to be with him. And within that second, I couldn't get away from the love I started to have for him. And it seems like he's feeling the same way for me. And at this hotel he's been staying at, we both acted out on that love. Is that so? I don't have any plans of playing along with your little game, so calm down. Huh? My husband is sitting right next to me. What? We have our wedding coming up soon. Goodbye. Wait, come on. I can totally understand breaking down like that after your husband just got stolen from you. But how about instead of trying to lie to me, you start to just accept reality or something? There's no way you can have a wedding all by yourself now. Who would actually believe that you have a wedding that's about to start when there's no groom? By the way, the two of us, we just filled out our marriage forms and are handing them in. You were always going on about how he's been your husband for a while now, but when I asked him, he said he wasn't married yet. I was happy to hear that and am thankful that you totally forgot to actually tie the knot first. When we get back home, we're going to head right to the courthouse and hand these papers in. I'm a bit saddened that this all had to happen on your wedding and honeymoon, but he and I love one another so much, and there is nothing that could ever break the two of us apart now.
There's nothing else I can do but take him from you. I'll make sure to make him happy for you, so forgive me. Jordan! We both just got back home, and right as we got out of the airport, we went straight to the courthouse and handed our papers in. You're still in Puerto Rico, right? Well, that's not an issue for us. We're heading to his house now to go and see his mom. I know this is a little backwards, but we'll still have to meet one another's family after we got married. I know that his parents were probably expecting you to be the one showing up to see them today, but I'm sure having me will be the same, if not better, actually. Wouldn't that be crazy if they both were more excited that I got married to your man instead of you? Oh, my loving husband is calling me now. I'll update you with how things go later. See ya! What the heck? I can't believe that awful fantasy of yours is still going on and you still haven't noticed anything yet. Listen here, Kimmy. My husband and I are still in Puerto Rico. And we're not coming back anytime soon because we still have a ferry ride and everything left on our honeymoon plans. I have no idea what you think you're doing texting me all the time like that. But you haven't done a single bit of damage to me or my husband. All you're doing is being a little brat and blowing up my phone at random points of the day. Please stop. Jordan, I'm going to give him back to you. I'll even be willing to pay you a settlement if you want, but I need to divorce him. Huh? What are you going on about this time? Since the other day, I went and got to see his mom and everything, and she said she was happy her son got married to me. But who the hell are they? What kind of mother and son duo are they? She was allowing me to move into their house and everything, but the moment I started living here, she began to pick on me worse than any bully from high school. I thought that things were a little bit off at first, but ever since I moved in, she won't let me have a break. And my husband isn't even doing anything to stop her, no matter how many times I ask him to tell her off. I don't care how handsome and wealthy my husband is. If his mom is going to act this crazy around me, then I want out. I hate it here. Please take him back. I promise I won't ever bother with the two of you again after this. Hey, are you telling me the truth right now? Or is this just another one of your fantasies? Because I'm getting kind of sick and tired of all your weird stories and rants. Of course I'm telling you the truth. None of this has been in my head, and I thought you knew that already. I'm going to give him back to you, so do something to help me get this divorce. Maybe come over here and tell him I've been cheating or something, please. Funny that you've been telling the truth then. Because that man you thought you stole from me, his name is Sid, right? Of course his name is Sid. He was the man who was about to become your husband, so you don't have to ask me all those meaningless questions about him. Well, Kimmy, how about you calm down a little and listen to me? Because I have some rather important things to tell you about your little predicament. What do you have to say? Sid just so happens to be my brother-in-law. Brother-in-law? In other words, he's my husband's older brother. Huh? The man that I married is the younger brother of the man you just got married to, all right? Huh? Actually, that technically makes you my sister-in-law right now. What are you going on about? I know that I shouldn't really be too worried about what happens to you both, but I'll let you in on why this happened to you. From what my husband has told me, his brother wanted to get married before him. He started saying these really idiotic things about how in order to get married first, he would steal his brother's fiancée, me, and then have him marry me. He was so invested in that plan that he even tried to chase us to Puerto Rico. He did chase us to Puerto Rico, but he had no idea in what part of the country we've been in. And as a way of getting him off our trail and to follow a different plan, my husband and I told a few fibs, and that's why he never ended up at our wedding or anything. What I think happened with you is while you were trying to look into my husband more, you came across those fake plans we told his brother and thought they were our real plans. What? Our plan ended up working out for us, and we never had to run into Sid while we've been in Puerto Rico. And luckily, we never had to see you either here.
I see. You thought that you found my husband when you arrived, but instead you ran into Sid thinking he was mine, and from there you started your own little adventure with him that's led you into the last place you thought you'd be. What? What are you talking about? I have no idea what any of that means. It's not my problem if you don't understand what I'm saying, but it's going to become yours. And honestly, all of that stuff you were going on about made no sense to me. But what I do know is that I married a man that I didn't fully understand at the time. Jordan, help me! Why should I do that? Well, originally it was Sid who liked you and wanted to be married to you, right? So I'll let you have him now. I'll let you have him, and you can give me your high-spec husband in exchange. I actually really hate Sid a lot, so that's no deal to me. I don't care that you hate him, just help me. How about you just shut up for once? Nothing's going to come from me because my husband is cutting ties to his whole family. Huh? Why is he doing that? You've already started to get a taste of the reason why, right? I can't blame my husband for wanting to get away from parents and an older brother like that. What? What the heck? You are so mean, Jordan. That is my high-spec, good-looking, and very rich husband you have. He is? Because from what I've seen, he's just your average office worker who makes an all-right salary in his company. What? I get that you have a very hard time escaping from your delusions, but are things starting to become a bit more real now to you? My husband, he is a simple office worker, and he makes around $65,000 a year. Okay? He's not a super handsome man? That's right. He's a simple man who just so happens to make a little bit more per year than me, who is a very simple office worker woman. But of course, to me, he is the best man ever. No way. So then what am I supposed to do about this? Jordan, I wanted to say I was able to get a divorce somehow. Lend me some money now? I really needed a way to get Sid to divorce me, and so I started to cheat on him with all kinds of men. But the settlement he's asking from me now, it's a lot more than I was thinking. What am I going to do? If things were going to become this expensive, then I would have never done anything from the start and just stayed married to him. Jordan, reply to me. Why aren't you saying anything back to me? Thinking that she was going to be able to come and steal my husband from me, Kimmy made a dash to Puerto Rico, and when she found another man thinking he was my husband, she married him right then and there. But after some time went by, she realized that he wasn't my husband at all, and in order to get that divorce from him, she had an affair with around 4 other men. This led to her having to pay a massive settlement of over $100,000 to her husband, since she had gone out with that many other men. And let me just say that none of this helped her relationship with her mother-in-law. But that divorce did end up happening, and she was kicked out of her in-laws' house and told to never come back unless she wanted to taste the other end of Sid's father's shotgun. It sounds like Kimmy's parents also cut ties to her after hearing about what she'd done, as they both had already spent way too many years dealing with her crap already. Kimmy had even made an attempt to go back to them for help and to have them give her a room to sleep in, but neither of her parents would even open the front door for her, saying she had 1 minute to get off their property before they called the police. Kimmy may be really stupid, but she's at least smart enough to know that if the police got involved, she'd only be making things worse for herself. The only thing that seemed to go her way in this whole plan of hers was the divorce, and not a single thing else. Thank goodness those two didn't end up having any kids together, or who knows what could have happened between them. As of right now, Kimmy's been working multiple jobs in order to try and pay off her settlement to her ex. But because he's asked for so much, it's going to be years before she's able to pay it all off. Unless she decides that she wants to stop spending money on food and housing entirely. However, she'd really be screwing herself then, so I think it's best that she continues to devote her life to paying off that settlement, as that's really the only option she has left. As for myself, I haven't really done anything and have just been thinking about how Kimmy did absolutely nothing to me that whole time. But hey, I might not understand what all was going on there, but at least it's all over now. I can block Kimmy's number and get on with my life. I think my husband is planning on having the two of us take my parents out to Vegas next, so I should maybe start getting myself ready for that trip.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Nadia. I just came back from my 2 years of being overseas for work, and it seems that somebody went off and got married. Since when were you going out and doing all of that and never planning on telling me?
What? Blair? So you came back to the US then? Are you back for good now, or are you just here for a few weeks or something?
Just for a short bit, but that's not what I want to talk about right now. Answer the question I've asked you.
You want me to tell you about my marriage and how it's been? Well, Blair, as far as I can tell, I haven't gotten married yet. I'm still as single as I was when you left.
I know that you got remarried and are a mother now.
What? I'm remarried and a mother? Blair, what are you going on about?
And what is this about leaving your kid over at our house all the time now when you just had them not too long ago?
What kid are you talking about, Blair?
What the hell do you think you're doing going on vacations like that all the time while leaving your baby at my house with my wife? Are you freaking insane?
Excuse me? Since when have I been leaving any baby over at your house with Carson?
I'm sure the reason you thought you could get away with it is because she's a housewife and has all this time on her hands, right? But that does not mean you could just use her as your babysitter. And you haven't even been coming over to drop your kid off either. Instead, having one of your friends do it for you every time. I'll tell you right now that I never expected to hear such BS going on in my household ever, because my house is not your baby's freaking daycare. Get over to my house right now.
I can't right now. I'm out of town on a trip.
Huh? So you've gone and done it again, leaving your kid in my wife's hands while you run off to have some more fun? Where did you go this time, huh? Are you out having an affair or something now?
Calm the hell down, Blair. Dang it, guy, you're starting to piss me off now.
Do you think I can freaking calm down right now? My own wife has been getting harassed by my older sister and her baby.
I have never had a baby before.
Huh?
Listen, asshole, I have never had a baby. And by the frickin' way, this is my 12th year now of not being in any serious relationships.
Wait, really?
I am so frickin' sorry that I'm not good enough for any men anymore. Now, would you cut that crap and stop making such stupid jokes about me? I am actually going to block you if you keep that up.
Then you being on that trip is...
I am on vacation with Mom for her birthday. Her and I came to this beautiful resort to relax and enjoy the spa. So, you have a problem with us being here?
Now that you mention it. Mom's birthday. It'll be next Tuesday, right?
That's right. And since both Mom and I have jobs during the week, we decided it would be best to take this trip during a long weekend. Dad is back at home taking care of things while we're gone, and if you'd like, you can call him right now and he'll say that to you.
Okay.
All right, so do we have a freaking problem here?
No, we don't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Then we can stop talking now. Right now, I'm going to get into the hot tub with Mom so that we can relax before starting our day.
Wait. I wasn't lying about my wife having a baby with her right now.
What?
So far, her and I haven't been trying to have a baby or anything. And you should even understand that since I've been away for 2 years now.
Fair point. And one of you would have said something if you were trying for a kid. Also, I've seen Carson a few times while you've been out of the US, and she never seemed to be pregnant.
Right? I was shocked by the fact that she was having to care for this baby, so I asked where it came from. She told me for the past month and a half now, you've been having one of your friends bring your baby over and dropping them off with Carson.
What the hell?
I get that it's not your baby now, but the fact that there is this random baby in our house who has been under my wife's care for the past month and a half is concerning me.
I see.
Please, help me figure all of this out. I have no idea what happened here while I was gone, and now I'm starting to panic. just tell me something. Is there anything you can remember that would tie into this?
I just asked Mom about it all as well. But she told me she hasn't really seen Carson for over a year now and has only ever been able to text and call with her once or twice. The same goes for me, actually. The last time I saw her was around 9 months ago, and that was out in public. Your guys' house is about an hour away from us, so it's rare for me to see her unless we make plans, which we haven't been.
That makes sense. All right.
Let me ask you this. Before you came back home, did you say anything to Carson about it?
No. I plan on this to be a surprise for her. And so I never even hinted at the fact that I'd be back in the States and coming home. So when I came into the house to surprise her...
There was a baby with her that you've never even seen or heard about before?
That's correct. Honestly, what the hell is going on here? What all caused this to happen? No, wait. I kind of know what it could be. Right now, I actually kind of suspect her of cheating on me, Nadia.
Well, before you start to blame her or anything, you need to make sure you have evidence of that sort of thing. Well, at least now I understand what you were screaming like a bitch for. Today is the last day of our trip, and we'll be checking out this morning after we're done in the hot tub. On our way home, we can swing by your place and see what all is going on with Carson and that baby. How does that sound?
That's fine. I'm sorry for texting you in such an awful manner while you were with Mom.
Well, today is the last day anyway, so you didn't kill too much of my mood. But don't think that I fully forgive you yet for the way you acted. Just, for the time being, calm down. Also, do not do anything that would make Carson think you're catching on to her. Don't question her about anything, don't yell at her about anything, don't do anything that would make her feel unsafe around you. We're not sure what happened that led to her having to care for that baby, and for all we know, maybe there is something serious going on with the baby's parents.
Understood.
Nadia, long time no see. I'm sure a little bit ago you got a few texts from your brother about some things.
Wow, hi Carson. It's been a long while.
I'm really sorry for not talking with you or your mom much this past year. And about this baby. I found out that this baby isn't actually yours, and that kind of shocked me as well.
Oh, I see. I was actually just talking with my mom about all of that, and we were thinking it would be a good idea to tell you that it's not mine. Thankfully, someone told you the truth. I heard quite a bit about what's been going on from Blair, but I'm still not fully understanding the situation.
Nadia, do you know anything about a girl named Jillian?
Jillian? If this is the same Jillian that I'm thinking of, then she was a classmate of mine back in high school. Carson, is that dumbass a friend of yours or something?
She was in the same club as me back in middle school, but was 2 years above me, of course.
Really? Is that right? Why are you bringing her name up with me right now? Does this mean...
Yeah. The person that came over to our house bringing this problem child with her who said it was yours was Jillian.
Are you sure?
Pretty much every time she's done this, she makes sure to remind me that you both are really good friends and that I shouldn't bother you about this when you're already aware. She told me that if I did ever say something to you, she'd do the same things she did to me back in my middle school. As a threat.
I see.
I knew that you of all people wouldn't have. Well, you get what I mean. But Jillian pressured me into taking the baby, and so there was nothing I could do besides act as its mother while she was away. I was going to get in touch with you about this, but I'd been so busy with the baby and everything else that I couldn't. And it's been a few weeks now since the last time I've seen Jillian.
Back in high school, Jillian ended up in the same class as me my sophomore year. And, during that year, she just so happened to be really into my little brother, to the point she'd tell me about it in person. She would always come up asking me to introduce her to him, and that she'd make my little brother into her boyfriend. It got to the point where she became way too annoying about it.
What? So that's the connection you had to her?
I guess so. But at the time, Blair had a girlfriend of his own. So one day I told her to F off and that she needed to find some other man her age. And Well, that seemed to have pissed her off a lot and left her with some remaining anger towards me. Then for the rest of my time in high school, she would do so many things to me to make it clear that she hated my guts. It was a pretty bad time.
I see now. I wish I could have gotten to you with all this information sooner. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me for anything. What do you plan to do now, though?
Good point. Well, before I say anything about this to Blair, do you mind coming out with me to a hotel near A Station so that we can talk in the lobby?
At that old hotel?
I plan to stay there tonight, so it would make things easier on me.
So you're out of the house right now. All right, I'll see you at that hotel then.
I'm sorry for dragging you into this, but thank you for working with me here.
Blair, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be a little bit late.
What? Why's that?
The bus that we were going to be taking back home seemed to have broken down, and now we're going to have to wait for someone to fix it. Well, it's already been fixed, but we're only just getting comfortable on it now. We won't be able to ride it all the way back home, but luckily we will be connected to a new bus at a station between here and home. So it'll be about 30 minutes, and then we'll be on that new bus and on our way home. To your home, I mean.
Seriously? All of that had to happen today? Well, I guess we're both having some issues now. I just realized that both Carson and that baby have disappeared.
They disappeared?
I think they have both just gone out to get some fresh air, but she didn't say anything to me about it, and never told me when she'd be back.
I see. Well, she can't be going far if she has that baby with her, so just wait a little while for her to get home, all right? I think she's just gone out for some fresh air, like you said.
All right, then. Guess I'll just think about what you and I are going to do.
Nadia, thank you so much for coming to see me today.
Oh, don't worry about it. Thank you for telling me everything you could about your situation and what you've known. I guess tomorrow I'll get started on looking into Jillian and seeing why she's brought you that baby so many times.
All right. Once again, I'm sorry for dragging you into this, but thank you for your help.
Nadia, help me. What the heck is going on here?
All right, Blair. What is it this time?
Why are you not getting all worried about me right now? You sound like you don't even care. It's been weeks now and Carson has still not come and she hasn't even said anything. But that friend of yours, Jillian, just came over to my house and she brought that troublesome baby with her. She told me to acknowledge her and to marry her right now.
Oh, I see. Yep, I get it now. So she's begun her plan of attack.
Huh? What the hell? Nadia, do you know something about what she's doing?
Listen, Blair, that baby she has, that's your baby.
What?
And that baby's mother is Jillian.
Wait, that can't be. I've been out of the country for 2 years now and only just got back.
Blair, give that lie up. It's already been seen through. Everything is known about you now. That's why right now things are starting to be set in motion. Do you understand?
What? What the hell?
Blair, while you were overseas for work, you ran into Jillian, right?
No, wait, that's not true.
As it turns out, actually Jillian works for one of the branches of the company you've been working for. And for a little while, she was sent out to the same area you were living, over in Australia, and that's where the both of you met one another. I'm not sure what all happened that led to you both becoming so close, but I am well aware now that you had some private business to attend to with her. After all that happened, Jillian's time was up over there and she had to return to the U.S. before you. However, when she got back here, she found out that she was pregnant. By the time she found out about being pregnant, there wasn't much she could do but have that baby. But she herself has a fiancé, and in order to not have that fiancé find out she had relations with another man overseas and got pregnant from him, she had her baby in secrecy. She also started to look at your social media during that time and found out that the father of her baby so happened to be married to the girl she used to pick on back in middle school.
And so she went to her, Carson, and started to force her to take the baby. All of that was stuff I found out during the past 2 weeks. Do you have anything to say about it?
Nadia? No, Carson is...
Carson is getting a divorce.
What? Like hell she is. I don't want to get a divorce.
You have no right to say no to the divorce after you cheated on her.
But Nadia, once Jillian turned into an adult, she wasn't that fat whale she once was back in high school. She became so good looking and I just had to get a piece of her. She turned into this woman that every man in the office was wanting.
Guy?
Come on.
Ugh. I never thought my own little brother could say things like that to one of his family members. I am so heartbroken by this that I'd like to cry.
But come on.
But come on this, come on that. How about you shut the hell up for once, Blair? Mom, Dad, and myself are all on Carson's side here.
What? You guys aren't going to help me out here?
Who the hell would want to help a dick like you?
No way. Nadia. Those talks about me getting a promotion have all stopped dead in their tracks.
Huh?
I'm having to pay a settlement to not only Carson in a divorce, but also to Jillian's now ex-fiancé who says that I deserve to rot in hell with Jillian for what I've done. And that led me to losing every last bit of my savings. I don't have anything left, and now the courts are asking for me to borrow money in order to pay the rest of the settlement fees off. The company caught word of what's happened with me, and now they are not only letting those talks about my promotion, but they are also cutting my salary.
I see. Well, from what I remember, the company you work for is a very strict company when it comes to people's ethics, and you've been fairly unethical around your wife.
And it's not just that. My leader told me that he no longer wants me working directly under him, and so the company is having me transfer back overseas, but this time to Colombia. I'll be working at a brand new factory there, and they said it some time before I was allowed to come back to the US. What the hell am I going to do?
You're going to be taking Jillian and your baby with you, all right?
What?
This is what Carson told me. She said that if you and Jillian both get out of this country and move to Colombia together, that she'd be willing to cut the settlement she's asked for in half. So?
What? She couldn't have said that.
And as for myself, Mom, and Dad, the three of us no longer want to help you anymore.
You're going to throw away your little brother you know?
Stop trying to make me feel bad for you after you asked for all of this.
Nadia, no!
Originally, Blair was supposed to be back in the US for a little while after coming back from Australia. But after his wife was forced to take on a random baby, we learned that the baby was his and that he had made it with another woman he had an affair with, which forced him to leave the US again. And with the help of Carson getting her divorce from him and forcing him to pay a massive settlement, Blair chose the other option and took Jillian and the child with him and left. Of course, my mom chewed him out so hard, one could say he was bleeding from his ears before going, and that was the end of him. There was one last thing he needed to do, though, before Carson allowed him to only have to pay half of the settlement, and that was marrying Jillian. And so just before they got on a plane to leave, they were spotted at the courthouse, both crying as they handed in their marriage forms. That was the last time I heard anything from Blair, and the rest of his small family for that matter. Well, thank goodness for that. And I think for Carson, it was so wonderful to finally not have some stranger's baby in her arms 24/7 anymore. However, just as we thought things were finally over with, a couple months later we got one phone call from Colombia, and it was from Blair's new boss. He told us that Blair was having relations with a woman inside his new office, and that Jillian had found out and showed up to teach him a lesson. His boss wanted to ask us if we wanted to come out there to see him in the hospital, but my parents and I told him Blair wasn't related to us. And so the boss said he was sorry for disturbing us and hung up the phone, finally putting an end to things. Ugh.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Good news, Natalie. I'm happy to inform you that I've found a husband for you. Huh? The wedding will be held on the second Sunday next month, so be sure to get to the Hasburg Hotel in Huxington City by 8 a.m. It will be a small ceremony for immediate family members only, but I trust you'll refrain from doing anything to offend the groom's family. Who are you? I'm your mother, Natalie. What are you talking about? My mother died 3 years ago. Who are you? Is this a prank? No, you silly girl. I'm not that mother. You're aware that your father is remarried, are you not? No, I was not aware of that, so get talking. Oh, I am your father's new wife. Since your birth mother has passed away and I am now married to your father, then it now falls to me to take on the duties of being your mother. I trust you'll treat me with all the respect that I'm due from this point on. Hard pass. Excuse me? I just remembered who you are. You're Jennifer, right? You're the woman my dad cheated on my mom with. You're the one who broke up their marriage. But if I recall correctly, when my mom and dad got divorced, I was under the impression that dad broke things off with his mistress, too. That was one of the conditions that mom laid out in order to agree to an amicable divorce. So if you don't mind me asking, why in the world are you married to my dad now? My oh my, Natalie, I had no idea you were aware of all that. I may have never met you in person, but after things settled down, I did hear an explanation of what went down. I see. Well, I suppose I have no reason to hide anything from you, so I'll tell you everything. It is true that your father and I broke up after the divorce, but 1 year ago, after I heard your birth mother passed away, we got back together. I wasn't going to pass up on the opportunity to marry an eligible bachelor like your father, a wealthy businessman who owns his own company. Oh, it's like a dream come true. And since the person who demanded we break up is no longer in the picture or in this world, I don't see any reason for me to hold myself back from getting exactly what I want. I see. You're just as much of a vile, home-wrecking harpy as you always were. Excuse me? I haven't spoken to my father since the divorce, and I don't plan to ever contact him again. So by all means, Jennifer, do as you wish with him. It's no business of mine. Goodbye. Christy, I've got big news, and not the good kind.
Uh-oh, what's wrong, Natalie?
You remember that deplorable Jennifer woman? Apparently, our deplorable dad got remarried. To her.
What?
Yeah, she sent me a text earlier today. I guess she found out that Mom died about a year ago and they got married soon afterward.
You have got to be kidding me.
I don't know how she got my number, but I bet our idiot dad left it in his contacts list even though I blocked him years ago. Oh, and get this. You know what else she said to me? She said that because our real mom is dead and she's married to our dad now, she has to carry out the duties of being my mother. Like, who talks like that? And the cherry on the cake, she said, quote, I trust you will treat me with all the respect that I am due from this point on.
Unbelievable.
Right? Obviously, I told her what she could do with herself right away after that.
Man, that woman is evil personified.
Seriously, she is the worst. Oh, but before that, she also said something really weird to me.
How can it get any weirder at this point?
She said that my wedding is next month.
Your wedding? That's news to me.
Yep, and it was news to me too. She said it's the second Sunday of next month. She even gave me a time and place for everything. I can just ignore that, right? Like, just completely blow her off?
Of course you can. I mean, that's not how this works. You don't just pick someone for the daughter of a man whose marriage you broke up and expect her to actually marry him. That's insane.
Those were my thoughts exactly. Not to mention I already have plans to hang out with you that day.
Yes, and I am so excited. It's going to be great. And even if we didn't have plans that day, there's no way we would ever listen to what either of those two scumbags have to say.
Natalie, the wedding is about to start, but how can we start the wedding without you, the bride? Where are you? If you were going to be late, you had an obligation to let me know. I gave you a time and place. I won't let you say I didn't tell you. Huh? Do you have any idea how upset the groom is right now? Wait a minute. I remember you talking about that like a month ago. Did you actually go through with it? Of course I did. I told you that you were getting married today, and I meant it.
Well, that's odd. I don't have a boyfriend right now, and I don't have any plans to get married in the near future, so...
Natalie, I am your mother, and you will get married to the man I selected for you. What? He's going to take such wonderful care of you. You'll be like a princess in a castle. His family is fabulously wealthy, and he's 40 years old, so he's a very stable and reliable man. He's 40? Sure, you might feel that there's a bit of an age gap between you right now, but as the years go by, I'm sure you'll come to forget all about it. If this is some kind of joke, it's not funny. Joke? Oh, Natalie, dear, I'm totally serious. I even have a marriage certificate right here in my hands. All it needs is your signature.
Oh, so you're serious? Well, in that case, you're a psychopath.
Natalie! You will do as your mother tells you this instant.
My mother? I'm sorry, who are you talking about?
I already told you, Natalie, I am your mother. Your birth mother is dead and gone. Now that I've married your father, it falls to me to become your new mother.
I'd rather die.
Excuse me?
Oh, was I unclear? Well, let me spell it out for you. I would sooner die than ever call a vicious, lying, manipulative whore like you my mother.
What did you just call me?
I will never call anyone my mom except for my real mom.
Oh, enough of this childish talk. What you say has no weight in the matter. I've arranged for you to be married. End of story. Now hurry up and get yourself to the hotel, you rebellious little girl. At your age, your hopes of ever getting married decline exponentially by the second. Men want young, healthy, fertile women, Natalie. With the man I've chosen for you, you'll be loved dearly and treated like royalty. I honestly don't see why you object to this. It's an excellent arrangement for you.
At my age? What is this, the Middle Ages or something? Get a grip.
Natalie, don't you dare talk back to me. I am your mother.
Goodbye.
I see you're not going to see reason. Fine, I'll have to take matters into my own hands. Don't go anywhere. I'm coming to pick you up right now. You're getting married today.
Hey, Natalie, how's it going? I've got some information about what's going on over there in Crazyland.
You did? How?
I called the lawyer that helped Mom out back when they were going through the divorce. I thought that since he was a mutual acquaintance of both Dad and Mom, that he might know something about what Dad's up to these days. And you know what the first thing out of his mouth was when I asked him about the wedding? I heard that it was his older daughter's wedding going on today. I was not expecting that.
Wait a second. So you mean to say that the wedding today wasn't supposed to be for me? It was supposed to be for you?
Apparently, Dad's been out of the country on business for the last 5 months. The talk about having this arranged marriage started about a month before that. With Dad going overseas in short order, he told Jennifer that she could take care of all the preparation by herself. And one more thing. Dad was supposed to be there at the wedding today, but he got into some accident over there and got hurt pretty bad, so he's not there.
What in the world is going on with those people?
I'm not done yet. There's more.
Hold on just a second. That harlot sent me another text.
For real?
If you have anything else that you think I should know, go ahead and send it all to me by text. If need be, I can give her a message with anything you want me to tell her.
Gotcha. I'll do that.
I've come to pick you up, Natalie. Now hurry up and get ready. We've got to get you married.
I'm curious, where are you at right now?
Where else? I'm out in front of your apartment building knocking on the door. Now open up. I know you can hear me.
Ooh, so close. You did manage to get one thing right. Me and my older sister did live in that apartment for a while. Unfortunately, though, you're a few months too late. We've already moved out.
What? Your older sister? But you're the oldest of the sisters, aren't you?
Nope, I'm the younger sister.
What? I thought Natalie was the older sister and Christy was the younger sister.
Well, you got it backwards, you moron.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I got the names mixed up.
Did Dad tell you our names and ages, or what?
Now that you mention it, he did talk about the two of you sometimes, but he only ever referred to you by name. I don't think he ever told me which of you was older than the other.
Well, looks like you probably should have asked first, huh? That would have saved you a lot of time and embarrassment.
Good grief, what a debacle. But no matter, this is only a minor change of plans. If you can't get married, Christy will be the one getting married today. Let her know where the wedding is taking place, will you?
Hate to burst your bubble, but Christy's already married.
Oh no!
Yep, they got married 6 months ago and they've moved out of state to the city where her husband grew up.
Oh, this is terrible!
So, yeah, in other words, this wedding you planned today, you're gonna have to call it off.
Nonsense! Your sister may be married, but you aren't!
Are you for real right now?
Tell me where you are right now. I'll come and pick you up as quickly as I can.
Jennifer?
We still have plenty of time to get to the courthouse before it closes. We can submit your marriage certificate today.
I'm 15.
You're 15?
I'm still a sophomore in high school.
But that's...
So, yeah, I don't know too much about marriage law, but I'm pretty sure that 15-year-olds can't get married.
With as old as your father is, I thought you'd be older. You're still a minor?
Well, Christy is 10 years older than me. I was living with her in that apartment, but after she got married, I moved into my high school dorm.
So it's true.
Why don't you ask my dad to make sure? As much of a scumbag as he is, I'm sure he at least remembers how old his daughters are.
I can't believe this.
What I can't believe is you don't know anything about the children of the man you married.
Well, you never came up in conversations. You're his first wife's children. You don't matter to our relationship. I only even knew how old your sister was because it came up during the discussions for her arranged marriage.
You didn't think to ask about his other daughter's age? Like, oh, hey, by the way.
Stop mocking me.
You're such an easy target, though.
Enough of this nonsense. What are we going to do about the wedding?
Well, I'm terribly sorry, but I'm about to board the bus to go to my sister's new house to visit, so I'm going to go ahead and leave you to figure that out yourself.
Natalie, wait! Look, you can take your time and get here, but I need you to be the bride today. You see, your father's company is, well, it's doing terrible. They've been operating in the red for months now. But he finally found someone willing to provide it with some desperately needed funding, the groom's parents. So you see, you have to get married today. I mean, think about it. You don't want your father's company to collapse because of you, right? After all, if his company goes under, then your inheritance is going to shrink. You don't want that to happen.
I was young at the time, so I don't remember all the details, but I'm pretty sure I remember legally renouncing any inheritance from my dad after my mom passed away.
You did what? Are you mad?
Nope. Actually, Mom's side of the family is way richer than Dad's, so I don't need to get a single cent from that lecherous old geezer. I'll be fine. Bye-bye now. I hope you enjoy the wedding. Hey there, Natalie. Are you enjoying your walk around the town? Yeah, this place is awesome. I'm getting kind of tired, though. I was thinking about heading back to your place to get some lunch. Are you still out at the store? Yeah, but I'm going to be home pretty soon. Oh yeah, by the way, I got a message from Mom's lawyer this morning.
Was it about the whole wedding thing yesterday?
Yep, you guessed it. And I gotta tell you, what he told me was some of the best news I've gotten in a long time. Let's hear it then. It turns out that, yeah, Dad's company is on the brink of bankruptcy.
Wow, so I guess that shriveled succubus wasn't kidding.
And in order to get the company back in the black, he made a deal with the devil, or I guess, with the CEO of one of his company's biggest clients. The terms were this: get your older daughter to marry my 40-year-old son, and serve as his housekeeper and caretaker. Then and only then would he supply Dad's company with some much-needed funding. Jeez. And get this. When Dad and Jennifer stopped by that CEO's house to meet their, again, 40-year-old son, he was in his room, in his pajamas, playing video games and drinking energy drinks. When they tried to arrange for him to meet me before the wedding, he was like, nah, just let me see her picture to make sure she's not ugly. Holy moly. What made any of those people think that either you or I would consent to that kind of nightmarish marriage? I mean, that wouldn't be a marriage. We'd have been his babysitter. I guess maybe they were banking on us consenting out of compulsion in order to save Dad's company.
Yeah, I bet that's it. Jennifer tried to scare me into going through with the marriage by saying that I'd lose my inheritance if Dad's company went under. What a bunch of creeps.
Seriously, they're all the worst people imaginable.
Uh-oh.
What's up?
Speak of the devil. She just texted me.
Oh yeah? You gonna respond to her?
No. How could you do this to me? You little brats, getting married and being a minor have ruined me. The groom's family is suing us. We're going to have to pay the full cost of the wedding. And the honeymoon. We planned out such an extravagant, luxurious vacation for you two, but that was canceled, and we have to pay for all of that, too. We're on the hook for a total of $50,000. How are we supposed to come up with that kind of money when your father's company is in the middle of a struggle for survival? Natalie, answer me this instant! If your dad loses his business, I'm going to lose my fabulous lifestyle. I can't let that happen. I won't. That virulent vulture, otherwise known as Jennifer, is apparently in her early 40s. She'd always dreamed of being the trophy wife of a wealthy businessman, but, if that was her goal, shouldn't she have done that sooner? While she could still serve as a trophy wife? Oh well, I guess her brain is about as functional as her heart and soul. A few months after that last text, my dad's company officially filed for bankruptcy. A few weeks later, an expose on Dad's company came out in the local paper. The company had been bleeding its top talent ever since Dad got remarried to Jennifer. According to insider sources, the reason they all left is because Jennifer was using her position as the CEO's wife to boss all the other employees around, even threatening to get them fired if they disobeyed her. But did Dad ever think to tell Jennifer to knock it off? Nope, she couldn't possibly be the one responsible. After the bankruptcy, Dad and Jennifer went deep into debt, but even then they were unable to leave their expensive spending habits behind. As a result, their debt just kept growing and growing and growing. The last I heard was that the two of them were escorted into a black panel van by a few large-looking men wearing trench coats and sunglasses, and neither of them has been heard from since.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.